A loud office alarm blared, security breach detected. Jessica's hand froze on the confidential file, her mentor's name was inside. And it was marked red, criminal exposure. The rain hit the glass windows of the top-floor law firm like warning bullets. Inside the building, silence. Too much silence. Jessica walked fast through the dim hallway, her heels clicking like a countdown to something dangerous. She had been called in late. No explanation. Just one instruction, open file 4B. Alone. Her stomach tightened, file 4B was never touched. Not even by senior partners. She entered the private archive room. Cold air hit her face immediately. She placed her ID card on the scanner. Beep. Access granted. The metal cabinet unlocked slowly. Like it was hiding a secret it didn't want to release, Jessica pulled the file out. Confidential. Elite case transfers. Her hands shook slightly. She opened it. At first, it looked normal. Case numbers, legal transfers, corporate deals. Then she saw a name, Daniel Morgan, her mentor. The man who trained her. The man who saved her job last year. She flipped the page, her breath stopped. Payments, millions transferred, from sealed court cases to offshore accounts, opposition law firms, illegal settlements, bribes. Her knees weakened. No, this can't be real, she whispered. Then the final page, a handwritten note from Daniel. She's too smart. If she ever opens this file, move fast. Jessica's heart dropped, a soft sound behind her, click. The archive door locked automatically. She turned slowly, the camera light blinked red. She wasn't alone anymore, and somewhere in the building. Daniel already knew she had seen everything. The lights went out, a voice came through the darkness. Jessica. You shouldn't have opened that file. Then, footsteps. Slow. Close, too close. The archive room was now completely dark. Only the blinking red light from the security camera remained. Watching her like an eye that never sleeps, Jessica stood still. Her breathing became louder than the silence. Hello. She called out, no answer. Then suddenly, beep, the door lock changed, access denied. Jessica rushed to the door and pushed it, locked. She turned back immediately, fear rising in her chest. That's when her phone lit up, unknown number. She hesitated. Then answered, a calm voice came through. It was Daniel. Jess. I told you not to go near restricted files. Her throat tightened. You're behind this. A pause, then a soft laugh. Not friendly, dangerous. You're smarter than I thought. But not smart enough. Suddenly, alarms screamed through the building. Security lockdown initiated. Red lights flooded the room. Jessica's heart pounded violently. What is happening? She shouted. Daniel's voice lowered. You triggered internal protection protocols. Right now. The system thinks you are the threat. Her eyes widened. No, that's not possible. But on the screen mounted on the wall, her ID appeared. Threat level, high, status, internal breach suspect. Jessica staggered backward. This is insane. Then the system voice activated. Security agents dispatched to location. Footsteps, real ones, running toward the room. Jessica's panic exploded. She looked around desperately. No exit, no help, just walls. And betrayal. Daniel's voice returned softly through the phone. You should have stayed loyal. Jessica. Then he hung up. Call ended. A loud bang hit the door. Boom. Someone was trying to break in. Jessica backed into the corner, tears forming, but anger rising stronger. She realized something horrifying. This wasn't just betrayal, it was a setup, and she was never meant to walk out alive. Jessica didn't think, she just ran. The alarm was still screaming behind her, but something felt wrong. Too wrong. No guards, no staff. No footsteps chasing her, just silence. Following her like a shadow, she burst into the main corridor and froze. Every screen in the building flickered at once, her face appeared everywhere. Then the words, containment subject, Jessica Morgan, her breath caught, subject. She whispered, she wasn't an employee anymore, she was a target inside a system. Her phone vibrated again, unknown call. She refused. It rang again. She answered. Daniel's voice came through, calm but distant. "You're not escaping, Jessica." She shouted, "What is this? Why is this happening to me?" A pause, then Daniel said, "You were never meant to leave through the front door." The line went dead. Jessica looked around slowly. The exit doors ahead were wide open, too open, like they were waiting, and that's when she realized the building wasn't stopping her, it was guiding her out. Jessica hid inside a stairwell, breathing heavily. Her hands were still shaking. She pulled out the confidential file again, flipped faster this time. Something felt different. Then she saw it, a hidden section, folded behind the official pages. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. Names, not just Daniel, at least 7 senior executives, all connected, all receiving money. But then, one thing made her freeze. A symbol at the bottom of the page, not a name, a logo, a circle with 3 broken lines. She had seen it before. Somewhere, suddenly, footsteps echoed above her, slow, deliberate, coming down the stairs. Jessica pressed herself into the corner. 2 men in black suits passed the stairwell window, no badges, no urgency. One spoke softly, "She's inside the system now." The other replied, "Then she doesn't leave as herself." Jessica's eyes widened in fear. They weren't just trying to catch her, they were preparing to replace her. Jessica waited until silence returned, then she moved, fast. She reached a basement corridor, cold. Industrial. Different from the luxury upstairs, a single envelope was taped to the wall, with her name, Jessica. She slowly removed it. Inside was one line, "You were chosen because you are untraceable." Her heart dropped. Behind her, a voice, calm, too familiar. "You're finally seeing it." Jessica turned sharply. Daniel stood there, not hiding, not running, just watching her. Jessica's voice cracked. "You did this to me." Daniel shook his head. "No." A pause, then he stepped closer. "I tried to keep you out of it." Jessica laughed bitterly. "You call this keeping me out?" Daniel's expression changed, serious now. "You think I'm the one at the top?" Jessica froze. Daniel leaned in slightly. "I'm just the one who failed to stop them." A long silence, then Jessica asked the question that changed everything. "Who is the them?" Daniel didn't answer immediately. Instead, he said, "You already saw their symbol." Jessica remembered the broken circle. Her stomach dropped. Daniel whispered, "They don't run the company. They run the people who think they run the company." Suddenly, Daniel's phone rang, unknown caller. He looked at it, and for the first time, he looked afraid. Jessica stepped back from Daniel. Her voice was low, shaking but firm. "If you're not the enemy, then what are you?" Daniel didn't answer immediately. He looked at the basement walls like they were listening. Then he said, "You didn't open a file. You activated a system." Jessica frowned. "I don't understand." Daniel stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Everything upstairs. The firm, the partners, the cases." He paused. "That it's all a front." Jessica's breath slowed. Daniel continued, "There is a private network inside the justice system. They don't argue cases. They decide outcomes." Jessica shook her head. "That's impossible." Daniel interrupted sharply. "You think justice is random?" A silence, heavy, then he said it, "They buy it." Jessica felt her stomach twist. Daniel looked at her now, serious, tired, almost broken. "You weren't targeted because you found corruption. You were targeted because you found ownership." A distant sound echoed through the basement, footsteps again, but this time closer. Daniel's face changed instantly. "They know I'm here." Jessica whispered, "Who are they?" Daniel finally answered, "The oversight unit doesn't exist on paper. And if they're here." He looked at her, "That they already decided your outcome." The basement lights flickered, then went out, complete darkness. Jessica grabbed Daniel's arm. "Don't move." But it was already too late. A red laser flickered across the wall, then another, then 3. Daniel whispered urgently, "Stay behind me." Jessica's heart pounded so hard she thought it would expose her. Then, a voice echoed through the dark, not loud, controlled, "We know she's here. Jessica froze. Daniel clenched his jaw. "They're scanning the building." Jessica whispered, "Scanning? Like I'm an object?" Daniel didn't answer, because it was true. A metallic sound echoed, a door unlocking somewhere in the darkness. Footsteps entered the basement, slow, organized, not rushing, hunting. Jessica saw a faint silhouette ahead, black suit, no face visible, just presence. Daniel whispered, "They don't miss." Jessica backed away slowly, then, her phone lit up in her pocket. Unknown message, "Run is not an option." And suddenly, all exits sealed at once. Metal doors slammed shut across the basement, trapping them inside. The hunt had officially begun. The basement was sealed, no escape, no signal, no light. Only breathing. Jessica's hands were shaking uncontrollably now. Daniel moved slowly, trying to find another exit route, but Jessica noticed something worse. The system was updating. A screen in the basement wall flickered on. Her face appeared, again, but this time it wasn't just her photo. It was a profile, like a criminal database. Name, Jessica Morgan. Status, active threat. Action, neutralize. Jessica whispered, "They turned me into a case." Daniel looked at the screen and went silent. That silence scared her more than anything, because Daniel wasn't surprised. He knew this was coming. Suddenly, a speaker turned on in the basement, a calm automated voice. Subject identified. Initiating retrieval protocol. Jessica stepped back. What is retrieval protocol? Daniel answered quietly, "It means they don't arrest you." A pause. "They replace you." Jessica froze. "Replace me? With what?" Daniel looked at her deeply. "Someone who will agree with them." A loud mechanical sound echoed. Walls began shifting. The basement was moving, reconfiguring, like a living trap. Jessica screamed, "This place is changing." Daniel grabbed her hand. "We need to move now." But it was too late. A hidden door opened behind them, and standing inside it, was someone wearing Jessica's ID badge, smiling. Jessica froze. The person standing in the doorway looked exactly like her. Same face. Same height. Same hair, even the same scared breathing pattern. But something was wrong. The eyes didn't carry fear, they carried control. Daniel stepped in front of Jessica immediately. "Don't look at it too long." Jessica whispered, "What is that?" The figure smiled softly, "I'm not that." Her voice was identical. Jessica's knees weakened. Daniel's voice dropped. "They built a duplicate." Jessica shook her head violently. "No, people can't be duplicated." The duplicate stepped forward, "Not duplicated." A pause. "Rewritten." Jessica's heart stopped. Daniel turned to her urgently. "Jessica, listen to me. That file didn't expose corruption. It exposed a system that can overwrite identities." Jessica whispered, "Overwrite people?" The duplicate tilted its head. "People like you are temporary." Jessica stepped back in horror. "What does that mean?" Daniel grabbed her hand tightly. "It means they don't arrest truth. They replace it." Suddenly, the basement lights flickered violently. The duplicate walked closer. "You're tired, Jessica. You've been under stress." Jessica's head spun. Her memories felt unstable. Her voice cracked. "No. I know who I am." The duplicate smiled. "Do you?" And then, Daniel shouted, "Don't listen to it. Too late." The system voice returned, identity stability. Failing, Jessica dropped to her knees, reality bending, confusion rising. Then the duplicate whispered, "You were never the original problem. You were just the test." Everything went white. Jessica slowly opened her eyes. Silence. No basement, no Daniel, no duplicate, just a clean white room, a chair, and a file on the table. She looked down. It was labeled, "Original Subject, Jessica Morgan." Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside, a shocking truth: she had been part of an internal justice experiment. Not a victim, not a whistleblower. A controlled subject placed inside the system to test loyalty, corruption exposure, and replacement resistance. Her entire life inside the firm was monitored. Daniel's voice echoed from behind a glass wall, "You were never meant to fix the system. You were meant to reveal how it reacts to truth." Jessica turned slowly, tears in her eyes. So everything. My job. My mentor. My fear. Daniel nodded slowly. That was a controlled simulation. Jessica whispered, so nothing was real? A pause, then Daniel said something that shattered her completely. Your emotions were real. That was the experiment. Silence. Jessica broke down, not from fear, from realization, because the system didn't just control actions, it studied pain. The screen in front of her lit up. Experiment complete, subject response, successful. Jessica stood slowly, her voice cracked but strong. So what now? Daniel looked away. That depends on you. Jessica wiped her tears, then she said something unexpected. If my pain was real, then my truth is real too. She turned to the camera, eyes sharp, alive, and for the first time, the system didn't respond immediately, because it didn't expect that answer. Life lesson: not everything that looks like authority is truth, not everything that feels controlled is freedom, and sometimes the system doesn't break you to end you, it breaks you to study what you become after breaking. Your pain is not your weakness, it is proof that you are still human in a system that tries to automate humans. If you believe Jessica should not stay silent, kindly like, comment, and subscribe for more life lessons, and don't forget to follow for more stories that expose hidden systems, betrayals, and psychological twists.